Hmm. Hello, 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 Zen. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, I think we're about ready. Ooh, I should probably plug my phone in. Hello, hello, John. Welcome to the stream. Want some homemade chicken tenders and fries? That sounds delicious. I'm just saying, that sounds yummy. Guys. Who's ready to game? Now, I've been looking forward to this thing for quite a while, because I love the trackpads on the Steam Deck. So having that functionality here, if I can bind that to some stuff, could be so good. Also, the buttons in the back, like, give me. Okay, so who's ready to unbox this? Any volunteers who wants to do this for me? I don't want to cut my fingers on the cardboard. Hello to Zed and John and Esther and Crimson. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Terrible. How about you, Crimson? Hello to Jimmy. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so the plan for the stream is we'll unbox this, then we'll boot up some Halo, and we'll do like banned woods with Halo while we test this thing out. We'll use the old we're going old school for the banned woods for today, where we just reset the checkpoint, but you guys can like select the woods and I won't have any limitations. So let's see how this works. All right, let's actually unbox this thing. At your fingertips. Does it bother anyone else that the A is not capitalized, or is that just a me thing? All right, let's try to open this thing up. All right, let's rip this cardboard off. Nice. Clean. All right, I think we just open it now. Like opening a chest in Zelda. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, dude, that's kind of fancy in here, though. Ooh. Oh, it has that new tech smell. If you know the smell, you know the smell. Okay, we got like the puck here that you can use to connect to the computer. And we have the actual thing itself, the piece of the resistance, the Steam controller. It looks kind of nice. We have some we have like instructions up here. Nobody reads that. I mean, they made it a picture book to be fair, but still, who wants to read, you know? All right, let's try to get this out without breaking it. Okay. That was way simpler than I kind of thought it would be. I don't know why I thought it'd be a little bit harder. All right. And I got the puck. Okay, this is supposed to come with like a USB. Ah, okay, it was like right up here. Got it. Yoinked it. It's mine now. Okay. I kind of like the box they give you here. Kind of nice. It has a good feel to it. I'm a fan of good packaging. Hello, God's Country. Welcome to the stream. Alright. The far and away most difficult part of this, by the way, is trying to get the USB cable out of this thing. Okay, ignore that. So, we have the cable. What the f is that? Okay, hold on. It's already have it tangled. Alright, good job, me. Okay, and I believe you plug this in here for the puck. Then I gotta plug this into the actual PC. Hopefully there's no cock reveal. Alright, there we go. It is now plugged into the PC. Looks fine. Yeah, I love the way it looks. Alright, now I have a bit of a coinky-dink, an issue, if you will. Where do I put this? We'll put it here. I hope that connected. I gotta read the instructions. How do you actually connect this thing to the PC? Uh-huh. So you hit the power button. Uh-huh. 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 I'm gonna hope this thing came with a full charge. It'd be a bit awkward if it came empty. Okay, so you plug the puck, which is like a little, like, wireless, well, puck. You plug that into the PC. Then you turn the controller on with the Steam button. Okay? Steam already says Steam controller detected. Before you get in game, let's install an important firmware update because it's 2026. Hairy ass arms. Look. I can't help it, I'm a forest. Okay, it's updating the Steam. Oh, I'm holding this thing in my hands. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that kind of feels good, though. Ooh. You can see the size of my hand in comparison to, like, the Steam controller itself. Switch 2 controller for, like, reference here. For, like, size. There you go. Nobody uses it. Nobody has an Xbox, so he has a DualSense in, like, comparison for the size. So it's not, like, outrageously big or anything. Plug your Steam controller into your PC with a USB-C cable. So I can probably just unplug the puck. And then plug it in wired. Okay. That's what she said. Hello, chilled. Welcome to the stream. Hottest part is getting the cable out. With no effort at all. Look, it's a system. You can now plug your puck back in via USB-C. The Steam controller puck is a wireless transmitter, connecting your controller to your PC, and is also a charging station for your controller. Alright, cool story, bro. Plug it back into the puck. Okay. One quick note about your puck. Okay, yeah, thanks, Cam. Controller connected, Steam controller. I think we're good. Steam button. This is the Steam button. Press it to turn the controller on. Thanks, bro. This thing's weirdly light, by the way. Yeah, it's way lighter than a DualSense. I would say a little bit heavier than the Switch 2 controller. I'd say a little bit heavier. I heard Windows notifications. That's me, like, connecting the controller and, like, disconnecting it. Press it again to open big picture mode. I will not be doing that. Gamepad first version of Steam. Uh-huh. Oh, I can probably just... So I can just, like, press this again to open big picture mode. How do the sticks feel? Oh, shit! You can actually move the cursor. With, like, the right stick. Oh, those shack pads feel sexy. The sticks feel like sticks. If you had the Steam Deck, they feel very similar to that. With, like, a slight adjustment. Yeah, we're gonna be booting up some Halo here. Now, I do wonder if I have to, like, remove the dead zone, because I had to do this with the Steam Deck. Thank you, Dominion, and hello, hello, welcome to the stream. And hello, hello, Booby, welcome to the stream. Alright, let's see if this actually works out the box. Alright, let's actually get in-game for this. It feels very comfortable in my hands. I do have big hands, though. Alright, let me just actually show the game now. Which Halo game are we starting with? That's a good question. We need to figure that one out. Okay, there's a few things I want to test. I want to test the dead zone with the sticks. I'm going to be able to modify that with Steam input no matter what. I want to see what it's like out of the box. We maybe be able to test if you can aim with the trackpads. The trackpads feel very similar. A little bit smooth, I'd say. Okay, why isn't it just showing MCC? Does it really do the Wilhelm screen? I don't know. Okay, there we go. I have it connected wireless via the puck. OG Xbox Duke was made from massive paws. The D-pad to me kind of feels like an older Xbox controller in a way. Hello, detective. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's get in game here. Halo 3 is probably a good like benchmark for this. Go with Sierra 117. Need to have I Would Have Been Your Daddy. That skull is mandatory. Okay, the thing I like already is the position of the sticks and the actual buttons here. A lot of controls, you kind of have to like move your thumb down here, and it can feel a little bit awkward because you gotta like really stretch it. For me, I can have it in a more relaxed position like this.
Move out, quiet as you can.
I will say, the material they use for this controller does feel like a bit... I wouldn't say fragile, but it doesn't feel as sturdy as like a DualSense, if that makes sense. It's probably fine more than anything. Now, the main thing I was actually kind of concerned about, and I'll have to see how this feels as the game goes on, are these like screw holes in the back they have for repairability. I haven't really noticed them. Just like holding it here, I don't notice them. On like either hand. Now, we do have 4 buttons on the back of the controller here. And you'll be able to like bind this in like Steam to whatever you want. Imagine using it on FF4. One thing I gotta like fuck with. Never really had this problem before. I don't know why I'm having it now. Okay, that should be good. I have not tested the Wilhelm thing. Alright, that should be much better. Why is it... OBS, OBS, what are we doing? I don't know what's going on with OBS here. Oh my god. Hold on, OBS is having like a heart attack. Why? 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 Okay, is it good now? Can OBS, like, stop having a heart attack? Okay, I had to change a setting. It should be good now. Sorry about that. Steam controller too powerful? Nah, I think I changed a setting off stream and just had to fix it. Okay, something I want to see. I want to turn up the sensitivity. Let's bump it up to 5. Okay, that's much better. Okay, moving around, the sticks do feel good. The controller overall in my hands feels a little bit light. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't, like I said before, it doesn't feel as sturdy as something like an Xbox controller or like a DualSense. But I think it feels fine enough. It's very comfortable in the hand. I will say, though, something I've been noticing right now, and I think this is just something I'll get used to, is you definitely feel these back buttons because they poke out a lot. Probably see it if I can actually... Like, you can see how much the back buttons really, like, poke up. And, like, when your hand's in a resting position like this, I have, like, my 2 fingers on both of them, you really do feel that. Try lowering dead zones. I'm pretty sure I have dead zones already, like, on minimum with Steam input because of what I did with the Steam Deck. Because I don't like having dead zones overall. That stuff you can, like, configure in Steam input, I believe. Alright, let's get to an actual combat area so we can test out the gunplay. What I do like is how close the buttons are to the sticks. Just like swapping my weapon and moving the camera feels good like that. Okay, so it has the same bindings by default as on the Steam Deck, where it binds the back buttons to, like, your ABXY. So I can jump with the back button here. I can melee with it as well, which is very nice because I don't have to, like, stop turning my camera to do things like melee or jump. Takes a bit of getting used to. Because I have, like, many years of just built up muscle memory. I gotta, like, break. Overall feels good. Still bald, though. It's crazy. I might be the only person that just, like, uses this pistol. I try not to waste the assault rifle ammo immediately. The aiming feels good. It feels damn good, actually. Okay, so far so good. I have no idea I killed that one grunt. I was definitely not aiming at him. I like the trigger. Oh shit. Okay, that kind of works to my advantage as well. Hold on. We move in. Got him. Yeah, it feels very similar to the Steam Deck. I would argue more comfortable than the Steam Deck, because with the Steam Deck, it's a very elongated tablet, right? So your hand's like way out to Narnia while you're holding it. This feels far more in line with a regular controller, but with like the layout adjusted a little bit for the trackpads and all that of the Steam Deck. I quite like it. Another thing I've noticed real quickly that I quite like, the bumpers. Let me talk about the bumpers real quick. Let me just like move the camera. So one of the things I like about the bumpers already is not the ergonomics, but just the feel. So they round out the corners of the bumpers here. So when I have my finger over it, there's nothing sharp or like intrusive digging into my finger. For instance, on the Xbox controller, they have the rounded design here as well, but you can see there's a little lip right here. And like sometimes depending upon your finger placement, this happens to me sometimes. You like get it to rub up against your finger, and it's not like a deal breaker or anything, right? Like it's a good controller, but like it's noticeable. I haven't really felt that here. And I think it's because like how high and elevated the bumpers are compared to like the actual frame of the controller itself. So it's like my finger feels like it's resting far above it. So when I'm pressing down on it, I'm not noticing or even like touching this little lip here. This is something I normally always feel with like the DualSense here, because you can see just like how far out and up it is compared to the bumper here. So that's something I really like about the Steam controller real quick. I will say, as someone who has really big hands, my main concern with the feel of the controller itself is that if I squeeze too hard, I feel like I'm going to break it. Now, I'm not going to actually test that because I want to use this thing and I quite like it, but because of the material they use for the controller itself, it does kind of feel like if I squeeze it enough, I could easily just like shatter it. Got nothing in the N64 controller. I still don't know what they were on when they made that thing. Sleepers. Yeah, these bumpers are nice. I quite like them. Jackal on the ridge. Stay low. Looks like they got God, just having 4 buttons on the back is such a game changer for a lot of things. One of the other things I want to test later in this stream is emulation. Because I know this controller is very much tied to, like, Steam input. I want to see how that works with, like, emulation. Because I don't have PCSX2 or, like, a DuckStation tied to Steam yet on my main PC. So I want to see how this just, like, plays out the box. I'm not expecting, like, many issues or anything. I just want to see how it feels. God, it feels good, though. Well, almost got stuck there. I normally get stuck by one of these grunts every time I play through this mission. Someone's normally able to like just arc a grenade right in my face. I have no idea how I got that guy because I did not see him. That was pure unadulterated luck. Okay, that guy was just alive. What's the worst controller you ever played with? PS3, not even close. That thing's a hunk of shit. I have never used a N64 controller though. That's like the one little asterisk.
Stop that.
There he goes.
God, I don't think I've ever really messed around with like Steam input on desktop. How do I even access that? So I know that's one of the big selling points for this controller. I like the Wii U gamepad personally. Though I never really like hold it up and use it like a regular tablet. I normally just have it like laying on a table.
Pelicans are en route, Chief, but I can't raise Bravo. Did you find them?
I do wonder just how annoying the back buttons are going to feel when you're not using them for extended periods of time. Because I always notice my fingers are resting on these things and not just flush with the main body of the controller. Because those back buttons are very elevated. I will say, aiming overall and like pressing my buttons feels very good.
Nice.
Pin this down.
The back buttons like take a little bit more effort to press than you kind of think. Xbox button layout, yes, it's A, B, X, Y. So the A, B, X, Y, I'll lay it out like an Xbox controller, yeah. Wiimote, I feel like the Wiimote was good for what it set out to be. So far, so good. Got him.
Well done.
The river. Hurry.
Confirms prefers controllers over mouse and keyboard. For me, it depends on the game. Or mainly the genre. It's been a bit more fun, Crimson. It's been a bit more fun. Am I able to bring up Steam input? Controller settings. Steam input, okay. Controller configuration for your Steam controller, yeah. Translate the physical inputs into commands in the game. It allows you to play any game, even if it wasn't designed for your particular controller or doesn't support gamepads. Okay, can I show this screen? Okay, so here's Steam input. This is where you're able to like really mess with the configurations for the controller and all that. Okay, so right here for the current button layout has a little like Steam controller icon there. So I can like configure the back buttons here. Enable back grip buttons. So L4, this one is the Y button, this is X, this is B, and this is A. If I want to change that, I can. Left grip. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Doesn't the controller have some kind of like sensitivity for when you like really press down on like the right hand side or the left hand side with like the grip? I think it does. Oh yeah, gyro behavior. The gyro allows you to move the gamepad itself to control a game for the control of a first or third person camera. Gyro to joystick camera. Joystick deflection. Create a mode shift. What is that? Gyro to joystick camera, maybe? Then gyro sensitivity is going to mess with this. An invert gyro y-axis if you hate yourself. Right trackpad behavior. Hello, Keith. Kevin, welcome to the stream. The trackpads are really good. They seem a little bit gimmicky if you're not using stuff that requires them. They allow you to have like mouse functionality with the controller. So if you want to like use the computer when you're at like a couch or something like that, they're very good for that. Or if you just want to use this to like navigate your desktop, you can use the right trackpad as like a trackpad. Gyro calibration, okay. View layout. So I can like mess with this here. Oh. Soft pull and full pull, okay. Analog output trigger. So yeah, there's a lot of different functionality here. So if you really want to get into the weeds and like customize this stuff. Where are the joysticks? Here we are. Left trackpad. Sensitivity. You can invert the axes. Stick response curve. This determines the mapping of analog input to output. By default, a linear 1-for-1 mapping is used. This curve can altered. What? This curve can altered. That ain't English. So there's more or less room for fine controls. Okay. Ah, here's the dead zones. Ooh, haptics. Let's turn this to high, I guess. Hello, Valcor. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so dead zones. Yeah, I have this off. But this is a way to prevent, like, stick drift. Now, I'm pretty sure because of the nature of the sticks they used in this thing, you don't have to worry about stick drift. Because it's like a magnet read instead of mechanical. But if you want to have it set in such a way to where you can move the stick a little bit, but it doesn't register that as an input, you can set that here. I disabled this shit on my Steam Deck because I hated it. Because it made fine aiming or very slight adjustments a massive pain in the ass when it comes to like Halo, so I turned it off. But this is where you can like configure that if you want that for whatever reason. Dead zone's value comes from the specific controller's dead zone. Raw input of the joystick will be set. So I can have like... I can test it here. Oh, is this like the reverse? Where it's like it only registers additional input up to this point, and then afterwards it just stops. Yeah. Okay. So physical joystick position is 62%, but it translates that to 86%. Interesting. Does it feel bigger or smaller compared to the other controllers? About the same, honestly. Like, when it comes to an Xbox One, in my hand, it feels about the same. It's more so that the layout is different. Because, like, with the Steam controller here and, like, the Xbox controller here, your thumb is moving a larger, like, angular radius like a larger angle to go from the thumbstick to the face buttons. Whereas on the Steam controller, it's like more compact, but it's also located like further up the controller than something like an Xbox controller. So like I have the stick and the face buttons all the way up here, whereas for down here, you can see how far down south it goes. For me, that's nice because a resting position of my thumb is like here or like here. So I'd have to like bend my thumb down that much unless I'm using the not joysticks, unless I'm using the trackpads. When outside this radius on the joystick, the assigned button or key will be sent. For example, the run or sprint button could be assigned when holding at the edge. The slider can be visualized as extending a radius from the center outward, with the point being where the outer ring begins. Oh, interesting. So if I'm reading this correctly, I can set this to where when I move the stick past a certain point, it'll register that as a separate input, and I can bind that to the sprint button of the game I'm playing. So if I don't want to, like, say, have right trigger for a particular game, Xenoblade, be sprint, I could just register that, so when I haul ass on this thing and move it all the way to the outside, it'll register that as a sprint input. That's cool for the game. Hello, Ultima. Welcome to the shame. Have you tested how good a Steam controller as a golf ball? I do hear that apparently they have this set to where if you drop it enough times, it's gonna trigger the Wilhelm screen. Now, I don't know how to get that manually. I think I like drop it a few feet. But I don't want to break it, so I'm just gonna like do this. I don't know if it's registering this as a drop. That's my one issue. My worry is that I will either be hitting trackpads while pressing other buttons. Would you see that as an issue the way you're holding the controller? For my hand, no. Hold on. For a particular reason. So the way they have this designed here is you can see like the trackpads are on the angle compared to like the face button and the thumbstick. So when I'm holding my hand like this, there's like space between the gamepad itself and my thumb. And in that space is where the trackpad is. So when I'm pressing everything, I'm doing this. With the size and shape of my hand, my entire thumb is not even touching the trackpad. Same goes for the other side as well. So it's like the way they have this curved, I think this is like by design. So you're not accidentally having your palm rest on the trackpad itself. I imagine that could like vary depending upon your own hand. But if you look here as well, you can see there is an additional little curve here on both sides. They have this curved and basically made a little valley, and they put the trackpads in there. Kind of ingenious in a way. Yeah, even when I move the controller around a bit, you can still see there's that gap. So my palm isn't hitting the trackpad at all. Hello, Puttin in the Black Rain. Welcome to the shame. Dead zone shape. The square dead zone uses a cross for determining the inner dead zone, but also maps the output from a circle into a square. This makes output in the diagonals approach their maximum value more quickly. Oh, that's interesting. So you can even like customize the shape of the dead zone. Cool. Again, I don't like having dead zones, so I just like turn that off. But it's nice I can like set it up custom for the game itself. Or just have it like for the controller overall. That's nice. I like dead zones off. I feel like are the future. They are very good. I feel like they are trying to target, though, the more premium elite controllers out there. So not like a standard issue Xbox Series controller or like a standard issue DualSense controller. Or I'd even argue like a Nintendo controller because, well, one, that's Nintendo. They're trying to target like those Xbox and PlayStation controllers that go for like $200. Or like 150 plus. Output access. Yeah, so I put haptics on. I would like to test out the gyro. How do we get back out of this menu? Oh, gotta use a controller for this. Alright, I can also customize with Steam input a soft pull or a full pull and give a different command for that. That's cool. I wonder if for Halo, I could like bind this in such a way to where a full pull automatically aims down the sight. So if I'm using like a battle rifle, if I use a full pull, can I bind it to also aim down sight? That would be like holding in the right stick, I think. Can I do that? Select a gamepad command for right trigger full pull. Select. Right stick click. Let's see. That could get annoying with the Magnum. Hello, Wayne. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I have an idea. If I do a soft pull on L2, can I have that set to left bumper so that can change my grenade? Okay, I need to test that out. That has potential. Whoa. I might turn off the haptics. That feels weird. It's like a slight vibration whenever I try to move. With the right stick.
Chief, Pelicans are at the river. We got company, so hustle up.
I feel like I would have that command to where I have it set for a full pull of, they call it R2. To also aim down sights. This would only be really useful if I'm trying to quickscope in like Call of Duty. I want to undo that. That doesn't feel good. So I can just go right back here. And then... Can I undo that? Remove command. Okay, sick. How do I do a soft pull? Hello, Gallo. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I think what's going on here is that even for a soft pull, because of Halo, it's registering that as a grenade throw. But it's also swapping the grenade over because I would have in Steam input. So I need to like configure that to where a soft pull wouldn't be able to throw a grenade. Interesting. So again, let me like undo that. Analog output trigger. What do you think of the controller so far? So far, it's really nice.
Grenade. Load them to bits.
Hold on. Got a contact.
Break up, now!
Sticks feel good to use. The bumpers are very nice. These are probably some of my favorite bumpers I've felt in a game controller in quite a while.
Negative! We're going
I like the triggers as well. They feel good. Wow, I just walked in every grenade possible, huh? It feels very good in the hand. The only thing, though, is that the back buttons are very noticeable because my fingers are resting on them and they're not flush with the body of the controller itself. I have not gotten used to that feel yet. And I would say the build of it, like the material they use for the chassis of the controller, feels a little bit like fragile and definitely feels plasticky.
Get a hold of her!
Now, I'm pretty sure like all the other controllers are mainly also just plastic, but they feel like a harder plastic compared to this. It does kind of feel like if I squeeze my hands too hard, I could break the controller like that. Now, I don't know if that's like actually the case. It just kind of gives that impression. Is combat controls? I wonder. I need to download that game again. Yeah. I think like the bumpers and triggers are probably some of my favorites I felt in the controller. I haven't like tested all the third-party controls and all that, but of the main party controllers that I've used over the years, these triggers and bumpers might be some of my favorites. They just feel very smooth. Now, building off what I said before in regards to like feeling the lip here, I do feel it a bit, but it's nice and curved. So it doesn't feel like it's arbitrarily like poking into my hand or anything like that. Feels more like I'm resting on it. God, aiming does feel good with it. It's also like a little bit lighter than you think it is. Like when you look at the Steam controller, you kind of expect it to be like this very big, bulky guy. It feels somewhere in between like an Xbox / DualSense controller and I'd say a Switch 2 controller in terms of weight. I mean, that's a number you can just like look up, but in terms of feel, it feels lighter than I think it would be. This brute's whooping my ass. Oh, I couldn't get my shield back. Oof. I was hoping I could kill him quicker. Oh, bro, I totally had you dead to rights there. Alright, so far so good. I'm liking the sticks the more I use them. They feel very smooth when you use them, man. Like, they're like butter. Fuck, they even like smoother than butter. Does anyone know the type of sticks that like a regular DualSense or Xbox controller uses? I don't think they're TMR. About the Indiana Jones game getting put on Switch too. The Indiana Jones game gives off the impression that it would be like modern Hollywood slop. The game's actually pretty damn good. I no longer have Game Pass, which was how I was playing it, but there's a part of me that kind of wants to pick that game up. That game was fun. Like, if Indiana Jones just becomes like a game series from now on, I wouldn't mind that. Fuck! I didn't mean to fall down there. That's not on the controller, that's just me being stupid. but yeah, having 4, I'm not gonna lie, having these 4 back buttons on the controller is gonna be the biggest game changer. Because normally you have to spring for a lot of money to get a controller with like a good amount of back buttons.
Hurry. Back into the jungle.
But like when it comes to like FPS games, one of the biggest issues historically controlling them with a controller was that you would be kind of limited in your functionality. Take care, God's Country. Wait, if you want to use the stick to aim, you wouldn't really be able to use this without like a claw grip. And for a lot of people, myself included, like a claw grip feels very awkward in the hand. But because on Halo at least, they map these like A, B, X, Y buttons to these 4 back buttons. It takes a bit to get used to because it's like, let's unlearn all your muscle memory since you're like a 6-year-old. Let's just unlearn that and throw it out the window. And you bind it back here, I'm able to like aim around and use these buttons without a claw grip. That's very nice when you start to get used to it. You got any grapes? Any guns in the Indiana Jones game? I don't recall there being guns. I remember being able to beat the absolute dog shit out of people, though. Like, some of those melee animations are way more brutal than you think they'd be. And then the combat in the Indiana Jones game was one of the things I actually really liked. It was fun. Okay, I always miss out like a sniper jackal up ahead here. There you are! I always miss one of you guys. See, right there's an example where I was able to jump with the back button and aim a bit and not having to, like, really move my thumb around all that much.
Come on, you dumb apes.
It takes a bit to get used to, but it's very nice having that option.
Want breakfast? You gotta catch it.
Because if at any given moment I just want to, like, default to my old muscle memory, I'm able to do that. Like, if I just want to ignore the back buttons, I can do that. God, I'm not over how, like, smooth the bumpers and triggers feel. They just feel satisfying to hit. Now, here's the real question. In what situation are the mouse pads actually useful? In any situation where you would ordinarily want to use a mouse, you can get, like, some version of that with the trackpad. So, for instance, navigating, like, some menus. I would be able to use, like, well, not here, but because it's designed with controller. I would be able to, like, use the trackpad as, well, a regular trackpad, like on a laptop. For me, the trackpads are very nice when I'm navigating, like, the desktop mode of the Steam Deck. Here, I can use the trackpad for aiming a bit. So if I want a little bit more, like, fine-tuned control... Actually, I wouldn't even argue it's fine-tuned. It feels a bit jumpy. I can probably, like, configure that. But it feels like, with the trackpad, it's not a smooth curve in terms of the input. It feels like it's moving it in increments. So, for instance, like Total War. Yeah, like RTS or something like that. Arguably, even for like a visual novel or something like that, if you want to like, navigate menus with it. It's one of those things where it's like, you're not going to use it all the time. But when it's there and you want to use it, it's like a game changer. They also have that like haptic feedback on the trackpads that it has on the Steam Deck. I like that personally. I'm pretty sure you can just turn that off with Steam input though. Now, the trackpads, to me, in terms of the material they use for the trackpad, feels smoother than the ones they have on the Steam Deck. Hello, Cardicide. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing well as well. For sniping in Apex. Well, the game, well, it also has gyro controls, which I think I turned off. I need to look more into the gyro. I know it has gyro functionality. Whoa, what hit me? Okay, I must have missed a sniper jackal. Let me pick that up. Yeah, okay. I gotta take care of the sniper jackals. Rule number 1 at Halo. What was gyro? Gyro is essentially when you move the controller physically around like this, it moves your reticle accordingly.
I'll get you, you big jerk.
Jmulls, what is Toho? I've heard of it. I don't remember what it is. They just need the RAM for it. I wouldn't be surprised if Valve is like trying to wait and see if the RAM prices will go down a little bit. The Steam machine, in terms of its overall success, is like heavily dependent on the price. Now, I think it's going to be closer to 1K. I will be surprised if Valve is willing to eat a loss on that thing. Hello, Praetorian. Welcome to the stream. Well, I think SteamOS is pretty dang good. I think Valve's just a very likable company overall. Generally, the things they do make people happy or excited about games instead of pissed off, which, funnily enough, can't be said about like every other company. Toho is the bullet hell game. Oh. It'll be 1K plus. I think the leaks are going around. I don't know if they actually qualify as leaks. That there's gonna be like 4 versions of the Steam Deck. I wouldn't be surprised if the version that's just like 512 gigs with no Steam controller is like south of 1K. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Alright, where's this one jackal? Oh, bro! This one section's long dicking me. Alright. Okay. I dealt with him. Now for you. Got him. Okay. If I can get the carbine this dude dropped. Of course, it fell off the map. Run, run, run. Dual wield! Oh, he's down here. Excellent. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get my shields back. How often do you get killed by grunts? It happens every now and then. The thing with Halo is that like everything's telegraphed. Outside of like Halo 2 and like Rocket Flood, everything is telegraphed. So if you have like undivided attention on it, you can react to pretty much everything. But like when you're streaming, your attention's diverted.
Echo 5-1, this is closest.
I'm gonna pick up the sniper rifle here. No, we're just on heroic. I just want to see how the game feels more than anything. But even on Heroic in Halo 3, some things can still, like, fuck you up. BR, nice. Which Halo is this again? This is Halo 3. Damn it. Overextended there. Oh, bro, you couldn't have, like, made the save point after this. Alright, I'm gonna hold on the sniper ammo, because that'll be helpful for the end of the mission. Chuck a grenade over there. The Halo game that defined a whole generation. It's such a shame what's happened of, like, modern Halo. People don't understand the aura this franchise once held. Like, you know the hype that, like, GTA 6 has right now? Obviously, it's not to the same level because that shit's a phenomenon. But relative to the industry size at the time, that was like Halo back then. It's like the whole reason Xbox got off the ground to begin with was basically just Halo. Like, Microsoft focused on having good multiplayer. And just Halo. Everything else was supplementals, mainly those two. God, old Xbox 360 multiplayer. If I could turn back time. Master Queef. How can you play a Halo game with sprint? I fucking hate sprint in Halo. It doesn't ruin the game for me, but it doesn't make it better, and arguably, and not arguably, it makes it worse for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically bad because of it. It just doesn't mean it's as good as it could be.
See how they beat their trap?
Now, I am using this wireless, by the way. I have not noticed, like, any delay. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I haven't noticed, like, any delay. Maybe a very slight bit if I'm going for very precise inputs here. But I feel that's more it waiting for me to activate it and move it enough. Wait. This is the section I like to use the sniper rifle for. Ah! I got absolutely hoed there. Who shot me? Ah. This guy. Let's just deal with him now. Okay, good. That guy's an absolute tank. Now, there's a sniper jackal over here. Got you. Good aim, okay. Oh my god, yeah. Whereas now it's like, you have a bunch of different gaming trends that are crammed into everything, like open world, for instance. Back in the day, you had to have like a tacked-on multiplayer. That was required. Not necessarily required, it's just like everything in the fucking mother had it. You know, every now and then you had to bang a multiplayer. Oh, bullshit. Got him. I see you. Gotcha. This is why I picked up the sniper rifle before. Heal up. Sick of crafting being in everything. That too, for like modern games. Like everything has to have crafting. I'm kind of getting sick of it as well. It's not one of those things where if it's there, it's gonna ruin it for me or anything. I just groan. PS2 pleb over Xbox. I mean, to be fair, I was as well. I didn't get into Xbox till the 360. Because all my friends were on Xbox instead of PlayStation. Because I grew up as PlayStation. But then, like, all my PS3s kept breaking. No, funnily enough, I also got my dad into gaming as well with the PS3, so... Whole squad's pulling up. Obby, can you move? I wasted so much ammo on that one brute. Oh my god. I want the carbines those sniper jackals are dropping. Where are they? Bad grenade. Yeah, I didn't like the PS3 controller much either. When I was a kid, I could tolerate it though, but like nowadays, I don't like it at all. I got like 2 bursts with this thing left. I got 2 rounds. Okay, we're low on ammo here. Got him. Alright, we need to move in. Okay. Okay, got a carbine now. I can work with that. So far, so good. Let's go free Johnson.
This isn't as fun as it looks. Cut the power.
I'll keep the 1 round here.
We're even. Long.
Early PS3 backwards compatibility. Oh my god, yeah. The early PS3s, the fat boys that had backwards compatibility with the PS1 and PS2. Oh my god, those things were the best.
Roger that, Hocus. Friendly gunship coming in hot.
I hate back pedals. Yeah, I understand it. These are very noticeable, so if you don't like back pedals, you probably aren't gonna like the Steam controller. They're very noticeable. Did I stick myself there? Okay, no I didn't. Sick. Yeah, this thing feels really good in the hand, man. Oh my god, Obby died. Bum. 4 energy left. Dude just got up. Light him up. Is there anything specific people are wondering about when it comes to this thing that I can like test out or like show off? Alright, mission 1's done. Oh my god, Bugger City.
Sorry for the tight squeeze.
Obby died, but he's got the meats. Yeah, I need him to get me my beef and cheddar. He can't die on me here.
Any of our birds squawking?
The second coming of Arbiter.
I'll show you the way. The base was built for some 20th century.
To be fair, with the religious themes of Halo,
These door controls.
there is a bit of that. It's kind of like Xeno in ways like that.
Watch your fields of fire.
Especially the Bungie Halos, because the 343 Halos kind of abandoned some of this stuff. The Bungie Halos had a lot of religious themes going on in metaphors.
We're with you, Chief.
If you deep fry it, will it still work flawlessly? Let me go get some peanut oil and test that out. How good is the Steam controller as a golf ball? Let me get my 4-iron, we can find out.
Chief?
I can never remember the input for the flashlight in Halo 3 because I never used the fucking thing. What is it? It's up on the D-pad. Oh. Huh. Is it resistant to gamer gunk? Actually, I don't think so. So if you look at like the sticks here, like a lot of other sticks, they have this like a little indent here, and then you have this perimeter bit of rubber. I could easily see gunk getting under there and having to like clean that out. And with like the texture on the side of the sticks here, it's kind of hard to make out in the face cam, but it is textured like an Xbox controller. Actually, maybe more like a DualSense controller. And it's a bit more smooth than the Xbox's texture. Not as smooth as like the Switch 2 Pro controller. But it's textured on that perimeter of the stick like a DualSense or like an Xbox controller. So over time, I can easily see having to like clean that. Cheeto finger gamers, yeah. Yeah, I guess if you have like a lot of Cheeto dust on your hand for some reason, you don't wash it off, it could probably get in here as well, like in between the chassis and the actual triggers. Probably also the case with like the trackpad. On the grip that you had to really press. I kind of wanted to get one for Campaign Evolved when it comes out. Because I never actually held a Duke control in my hand. Oh my god, the Halo 3 rat, let's go. These things are iconic. These guys are interrupting my rat game. There you are. Look at him in all of his glory. Look at him rolling around. This is what happened to Master Splinter, by the way. Does anyone know whatever happened in like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Last Ronin game? That got announced a while back. Did it get canceled or something?
We should hold here. They just keep on coming, boys.
Take care, Asta. You should try flick stick controls on that thing. Gyro for general aim. Right stick for snapping to the sides and behind quickly. Oh, that sounds interesting. How would I even configure that?
Out there?
I heard Ronin was canceled. Cringe. Gyro. Maybe gyro and a mouse? Yeah, I don't know how to like... Oh, shit. Okay, well, the gyro feels smooth. I just... Oh, so it's like one or the other. How do I... get it so I can gyro at the same time as like moving. Because right now it's kind of set to like one or the other. Where if I'm using gyro, it's only gyroing. There are a lot of options for gyro. Oh my god, look at this shit. Rotational haptics. There's a lot here, huh? Choose whether selected buttons enable, suppress, or toggle the gyro output. Unless the assigned button is held. Hold to suppress gyro. Choose gyro button. Select buttons will enable, suppress, or toggle the gyro. So it's right stick. Thanks for sharing, by the way. Hey, no problem. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about like Steam when it comes to that kind of stuff. Some people in the community will just make a layout and you can just use that if you don't want to fuck around with it. I would like there to be an option to where I can use gyro and also input the rest of my controller. So like I move around and like it doesn't disable it. Because right now I feel like it's set to I'm either using the rest of the controller's buttons, but if I use gyro, it swaps to only gyro and I can't really do anything outside of just gyro. Hello, Infant. I was talking about The Last Ronin, which was like supposed to be a game adaptation of The Last Ronin TMNT comic. They announced that game a while back, but I haven't really seen anything. I guess they got canceled. Huh. Oh, I guess it'd be mode shift. Okay. Where are you? Not calibrate. Where would you be? No, okay, keep it in the wrong menu. This is what I want. Alright, let's set it to none. So many options. That's the thing when it comes to this. It's like, I've seen quite a few reviews for this thing, and I don't feel like a lot of the reviews really delved into, like, Steam input. Steam input, like, gives you so much more functionality and customizability when it comes to this thing. It's like, everything we were just looking at was just for gyro. And there's so much more to this. If I'm reading this right, I think this is, like, left grip. So if you like squeeze or apply more pressure on the left grip overall, you can have that be a command. Can I set that to be like left bumper? Let's see.
Special delivery!
Oh, that's interesting. Well, let me kill these guys.
That better be all of them.
Okay, there is some kind of trigger here. That is what that button does, though. So when I apply pressure to like the left grip of the controller, I have that triggered now to be left bumper, which is change grenade. You can see that in the top left of the screen. So if I whack it like that, that doesn't do it. If I squeeze it like that, that changes it. I didn't press an actual button there. I just squeezed the left, like, grip of the controller. I didn't hit, like, a back button or anything. So if I do it again, I think there's a very specific point in this controller on the left grip that is used to designate whether or not you hit that button. I'm trying to find it because it doesn't feel overly reliable. So if I'm holding it and I apply a bit of pressure, that doesn't do it. Wait, I think I did it. Oh, interesting. Oh my god, if that can apply to like emulation, that's a fucking game changer. Because the most annoying thing for like emulation for me is like turbo mode and finding a place on the controller for it. Because I always have to do like some weird combination and it probably like lines up with another button input that I don't want it to. So I have to like find like the best of a worst case scenario. What I can do now though is probably just bind turbo to when I squeeze on the controller like this. Or like one of the back buttons. Oh, that's nice. That is such... Why don't I hear anyone when I watch reviews of this thing? Why is like no one brought this up? I remember Valve advertising it. Again, I am not even hitting the back buttons, any of these buttons, the stick, or the trackpad. I'm not hitting that. It's simply me squeezing the left guard of the controller. And I have it bound to left bumper. I can bind that to anything else. And I can do the same with, like, the right guard as well. So if I want to... I can bind right guard to... What could I bind it to? Maybe I bind it to, like, right bumper. It's like a phantom button. Yeah, basically. Okay, that's a little bit finicky. I wonder if I can, like, mess with the sensitivity. Because, again, I'm not hitting a button here. It's just me squeezing the left, like, guard. About binding to ADS. That was another thing I was thinking of. Yo, bro, your FF14 content is really good. Thank you for the content. Hey, thank you, Boobless. I appreciate that. Okay, I don't know if I would bind this to right bumper. Because maybe passively, I'm just, like, hardwired to squeeze the right guard of my controller. So I'm swapping my weapon all the time. I wonder if I can, like, change the sensitivity of that. Let's change it to right stick. That way it's ADS. Oh, that is very sensitive. A lot of these are, like, not intentional. Just, like, me trying to, like, actually grab the controller like this. Apparently, they haven't rolled out the sensitivity settings for the grip, but it was shown in a video. Okay, so probably a future patch. Because if they can like roll out functionality to like configure the sensitivity for that input, that's a game changer by itself. Because I think what's happening right now is I don't think it can register as of right now whether my hand is on the controller or not. It simply registers a change in pressure. I think. This is not like, this is just me like guessing. So right now, it's like registering this pressure of me not holding it. So when I go to grab it, it thinks I'm squeezing it, but I'm not. I'm just like, I'm just putting my palm on it. And I'm trying to wrap my hand around it. But it's registering that as like a squeeze. So I'm getting a lot of like unintentional, I don't want the ADS here. But because I have that bound, it's registering that as an input. Now, I don't mind that when it's like left bumper for grenades, because that just swaps what grenade I'm currently like equipped with. It's weird because like it feels like the left guard isn't as sensitive as the right one. No, it definitely is. It's just a matter of... That can't be the intended way to do it. I wonder if the intended way to input this is they want you to take your hand off and put it back on. Could make it having to register both grips for it to work? Possibly. That could be an interesting idea. I don't know if that functionality is here yet, though. They can always add stuff like that with a patch. They need to find a way to zero it out like a scale. Yeah, because like they do it for dead zones when it comes to like the controller. So it's like they already have functionality like that. So for me, I would undo that. Whoa, wait, what? Settings. Hold to repeat turbo. That's funny. Interruptible. Toggle. Cycle commands. Fire start delay. Fire end delay. Can add haptics to that if I want. I could rename the command. Oh, shit! Wait. Hold on, this might be here already. So, instead of a regular press, I can make it a double press. So I have to, like, press it twice in order to get that input. Long press. Start press. Release press. Soft press. Analog. Button chord. Huh. I would like functionality for, like, strength of the input. I don't know if that could be here, if they have the tech in here or not. Making it a double press, though, could be good. I wouldn't want that for the right stick one, though. So I would remove this command, personally. This, I would make a double input, though. I would do an action. It does kind of feel like that unless I change the setting like this. So to prevent like an accidental input from triggering it, I would have to hit it twice to do it. Or like make it a long one. Or I can make it so when I start pressing it, that's when the input goes through. Or I can make it so when I let go, that's when it does it. I can have like either or. Soft press. I wonder if that's what I'm looking for. If this will only work if I do it very lightly. So if I do it heavily, let's see. It's not changing grenade. Woohoo. We gotta like stroke it? What's going on here? Gotta give the controller like 10 to 11K. What's going on here? What's a soft press? Maybe it's meant for slapping the side of the controller. I kind of think that's the case. Okay, I don't know what soft press is. I kind of wish they would have like some little tutorial here to tell you what like a soft press is. Soft press settings. Soft press threshold. If I do a regular press, and I do the settings, so I don't have the threshold here. But if I go to soft press, then go to settings, I can change the threshold. Activation style, simple threshold. Hair trigger, hip fire aggressive, hip fire normal, relaxed, and exclusive. He kind of whispers sweet nothings in his ear, yeah. It's hooked up to Gabe Newell's ear. Huh. Hand trigger. Again, I kind of wish they would give you like a little blurb as to what these are supposed to be. They're kind of expecting you to know what these terms mean. If we're talking about like an actual trigger button, like an RT or an LT, I would know what this stuff means. But for like the side of the controller, that doesn't like make sense to me. Fine adjustment. Oh, so I want to be very precise. I can do it with the controller there. Okay, coarse adjustment and just like, okay. So if I up it to here. What will that do? I don't know which way that threshold is. If it like wants me to do it harder or softer. Pause. Well, now I'm out of grenades, so I can't really tell. Huh. Okay. Something to be on the lookout for. I think a patch could go very far for that functionality. Let me just disable it, though. But it is something to be on the lookout for, because that could be really damn cool for, like, specific use cases. Because, like I said, for, like, some emulators, if you want turbo mode just for fast forward, you could possibly bind that to when you squeeze on the stick. That could be really dang cool. Probably the threshold's too high. Maybe? I had it low, though. I couldn't get it to register either. I'm wondering if for, like, soft press, there's a very specific part of the control I'm supposed to hit. I don't mind wasting BI ammo here. I can just pick up the carbine. There we go. Oh, there's a whole other BR here. Nice. More rats. No shot took me that long to kill a rat. Bro, I'm dumping on him. Alright, there we go. If you need to rewind as well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool as well, yeah. Or like maybe set it up to activate the stop menu or something. Or like maybe have it set for like a screenshot So you don't have to like find that awkward like screenshot button on the controller. You just like squeeze down and it'll just do it for that. So you want to be like lightning quick. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that uses like a bunch of different gesture controls on my Android phone. I like having that kind of functionality. Hello, Sogon. Welcome to the stream. But you need a PhD? Yeah. Steam input's very damn good. It's just you have to be willing to sit down and like tinker with it. But like when you do and you get like a setup for you, it's very nice. Thankfully for me, like the default layout for like Halo with the Steam controller and I guess Steam Deck just kind of works. Yeah, the controller itself just feels comfortable. I'm getting used to the back buttons the more I feel them. They do take a minute, though. Man, being able to jump and like change my camera angle without having to use a claw grip is so nice. Yeah, like that's one of my issues when it comes to like when I was doing like the Xenogears or Xenosaga playthrough, because we're gonna go back to those. It's just like finding a way to put the turbo button on the controller was a pain in the ass. Because like every button is used for something. So if I have, if I want to like toggle turbo, I'm activating another input. If I can use this controller in a good way for emulation, which I think I'm going to be able to, I don't see why not. Then I'll have like plenty of like real estate for that kind of stuff. Well, for me, it depends on the genre of game. Ordinarily, I'm not going to play Halo with like a controller. I'll play like FPSs with a keyboard and mouse. But I've grown up with Halo and like FPS on controllers, so I'm still used to it to a degree. So I can like test it out here and like figure out like what I like. But there are some genres that I just prefer controllers on. Xenoblade 1 combat navigation while moving around. Oh god. Yeah, that one of the reasons I love the Steam not Steam, the Switch 2 controller, those back buttons. I always forget there's ammo here. Alright, let's head back. I kind of want to do Salvo Highway just to feel like vehicle combat. Binding keyboard and mouse to the controller. Oh, okay, yeah. Alright. Let me boot up Salvo Highway. I want to see vehicle movement. Overall, I'm really liking this controller so far. It feels so damn good in the hand. It also fits my hands very well.
What happened?
feel like the audio's low. I don't think it is. I think my headset's just low.
Chief, please respond. What is your status? Over.
I do have to get used to, though,
Find
the
transport.
PlayStation stick layout. I'm so used to, like, the Xbox One. So I normally, daily drive an Xbox controller for PC.
Settle down, Marine.
So I'm used to the D-pad being below the stick. That's not the case. They go with a uniform layout of, like, a PlayStation 1. But the sticks are located high on the controller,
Nah, man. Alpha
so you
6,
kind of get
you're
the same,
all
like,
done, too.
thumb feel.
If you can walk, set your boots on the line.
I need to see a doctor, okay?
I always forget to go through this
What's
one,
our
one
situation,
door here.
Sergeant?
Not sure. Can't reach the command.
Alright, give me a warthog.
Chief's got the right idea.
Let's mount up. Get the hell out of these caves.
You drive. I want to shoot. Let's
Yes,
go.
sir.
Alright, I gotta, like,
I'll get
open the door.
I've got the wheel. Here we go.
Feeling in your fingers. Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about, like, the current generation of controllers. At least when it comes to, like, first-party ones. I like all of them. I love the Switch 2 controller, I love the DualSense, and I love the Xbox controller.
Let's hustle.
Second squad.
God, the sticks feel so good while driving, man. Ignore the fact I just domed myself right in the wall there. God, it just feels good with these sticks, man. The sticks feel so smooth. But, like, they stop the second I want them to as well. It's, like, hard to explain, because I'm pretty sure I can get, like, a similar effect on the other controllers. But when it comes to these sticks, it just feels like it does exactly what I want it to.
Us in the base. Roads are gonna be looking for survivors.
Careful. Watch it. Get closer.
Well, I normally like the pad being below the stick because it means my thumb for my left hand is in a more comfortable location on average compared to like how PlayStation does it for like an FPS game. What they do with the Steam controller though is they have everything located at like the near the top. So like no matter where my thumb is here, it feels relaxed.
Chopper. This right here is why I signed up.
Alright. Get that chopper over here. Better die. I do not know how I lived that. This is the real play for this mission. Just get a chopper. Now, choppers in Halo 3, funnily enough. Now, you may not know this if you haven't played Halo before. So, a chopper is an interesting brute vehicle, the monkey people. Now, the funny thing about a chopper is that it controls like shit. It handles like a zebra on skates. But even here, it feels good with these sticks.
Finally.
You don't feel like your thumb can bump into each other? Not really. I feel like if you are trying to... Ah, fuck! I forgot this scene had buggers in it. Thank God for the chopper, though. I got hoed there. For me, when I'm using the sticks, I control them with the tips of my thumbs. So even when they're both like together, they get very close, but I don't really press them together. I can, I guess, if I go really extreme with it. But that's like an extreme use case. Like when I'm just playing around, that has not happened at all this stream. I guess it can happen, but it feels more like you're forcing the issue than feeling natural to me. Got him. Alright. Bring out the buggers. Here we go. This is why I love the chopper. Because this giant front bit. In Halo, they love to have the enemies shoot you directly instead of the vehicle. Which means sometimes in vehicle sections, you're way more squishy than you think you are. When it comes to the chopper, though, you have this giant front wheel, and it's just like a giant shield for you. Gyro to mouse action. I tried the gyro earlier. There's like a weird thing where it feels like it's a toggle. Where it's like I can use the controller regularly, but if I want to use gyro, it toggles over to gyro and restricts the rest of my functionality with the controller. I don't personally like it. I think it's probably fixable with a setting. I just couldn't find it.
Breaking up.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
East Avoy, someone, anyone, please respond. I'm pretty sure to make that jump, you need like a warthog.
Finally, a good connection. Truth has excavated a Forerunner artifact. We have to assume it's the Ark.
God, FPS games and ladders feeling like ass. Halo's old as time.
In the next valley.
This section right up here, where you have like the defense section, probably my least favorite part of like Halo 3. It's just a brute onslaught. Was it actual gyro to mouse or gyro to joystick? I can go back to the menu. Both. They give you the option. So we go here. Back out of that. Controller setting. Where are you? Gyro behavior. So it's both. You get the option. So it's like gyro to mouse, gyro to joystick camera, and gyro to joystick deflection. I don't know what that is. And like you can create a mode shift. Wait, what did that do? So if I do gyro to joystick camera. Will that be fine? This is not gyro gameplay. I have it like set to the sensitivity's off, so it's not activating. It only activates gyro for like the slightest movement right now. I can like configure that though. Only gyro to mouse is viable. Joystick feels bad. Okay, cool. Let me try that. Let me try that then. Where are you? Okay, so gyro to mouse. Dots per 360. Gyro sensitivity. I don't know how high I would want this to be. This is one of the nice things when like the trackpads is you can type with the keyboard with them. If you have a regular keyboard, you would always just use a regular keyboard. But it's nice to have the option. If you're like on a couch or something. Choose gyro button. Selected buttons will enable, suppress, or toggle the gyro. Gyro will always be on if no buttons are selected. So it's right stick, okay. Gyro enable and suppress. Hold to enable gyro. Gyro speed dead zone. The minimum amount of speed that the gyro must be moved before there's a reaction on screen. This is useful to combat handshake or natural bounce back after a flick. Rotation output lost to the dead zone will be recovered when moving the controller at high speeds. So I think I want to knock that down a lot. Gyro precision speed. When rotating the controller below this speed, sensitivity is reduced relative to the speed. This makes smaller motions even smaller in-game. This may be preferable to a dead zone for adept users. Rotation output lost to the precision filter will be recovered when moving the controller at high speeds. Momentum. When the gyro is disabled, gyro will continue to output for a short time. No. 3D OF to 2D conversion style. All this gyro talk is making me hungry. Kinda same. We kind of... Oh, thank God. But why did it give me, like, brief explanations for these, but not the other settings we talked about earlier? Turn the controller around its own vertical axis for horizontal output. So you can change how the gyro is, like, aimed, in a way. World space uses all rotation around the gravity axis for horizontal output. Okay, interesting. You can have haptics if you want. If you have multiple gyro buttons, choose whether they must all be pressed. All right, let's try that out. Whoa. That's weird. It's like... I go to like a certain point and like... Whoa. You see what I mean? It's like it's stuck in the gyro mode, and it wouldn't let me do anything else but, like, gyro move. It's like the actual gyro aiming feels pretty good. Like, it's smooth. But, like, I'm not able to actually move my character. If I can change that, I would be happy. For some reason, the X button works, though. Okay, now it's disabled gyro. But if I stop moving it around a bunch... Take care, Zen. Could be the game not supporting mixed input, meaning keyboard and mouse key at the same time as controller buttons. That's a good idea. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, so when it's triggering the gyro, the game's registering that as swapping the mouse and keyboard controls, so the rest of the controller is not being used there. But then when I only start to use the controller, it swaps back to controller input and kills the gyro. Yeah, I think that might be it, Sogun. So it's game dependent. It's a bit annoying. I will turn gyro off with that for that then. Well, surely if I do gyro to joystick camera, that should fix it. Oh yeah, WASDA. Okay. When I was using gyro there, I could use the keyboard with WASDA and move around. That's definitely the issue. So it's just like Halo MCC doesn't really work well with this. If I swap it to joystick camera... It's really finicky. I think it's just like this game doesn't really work with it. I think that's the underlying issue. I mean, I normally am not going to use gyro much myself. So it's a non-issue for me. But I wonder if they can like find a way to patch that. You could probably just rebind it with like Steam input. So the controller inputs just mirror like keyboard and mouse inputs instead. And you can brute force the issue like that.
We got reinforcements.
Sir, recon spotted Covenant armor ahead. Pelicans are inbound with heavy weapons. You need to hold out until we arrive.
You'd have to set all the buttons to keyboard and mouse buttons. Yeah. I think that could work. It's just, you would only really do that if you really want gyro. I can't be asked, so I just wouldn't do that. But, again, that's kind of like the good thing about this. It's just like, if you want to do that, you can.
Nice kill, sir. Hey! Drat!
Oh god, a fuel rod one. Okay, got rid of the fuel rod guy. God, the backwind is so nice in this thing. Is there anything else anyone wants me to test? Or, like, any questions? There should be a sniper rifle here. Here we go.
Well, that was just shiny. Let's hold this spot.
Trying to dig in! Frag out!
We have a situation.
My aim is so bad right now. That's not the controller, that's just me being shit with the sniper. You try the trackpad? It feels like the Steam Deck trackpad, just the texture of it's a little bit smoother. I don't really like use the trackpad for aiming personally, but you can do it. I think there's like some momentum preservation on it. Not what I meant to do there. So like when I swipe with it, yeah, it like keeps the input. I would want to kill that. Man, the things I do for a carbine right now. I figure there's probably a setting for that because they have the momentum stuff for the gyro. I don't see why they wouldn't have the same option to disable it for the trackpad. Got him. My shield's back. I need to save this for the Wraith. I don't really need to, actually. I can just melee it. Got a carbine. Insane. Insane pull. I only saw that guy because of auto aim. Oh, that's interesting. I think there's like haptic feedback for when auto aim is enabled or like is triggered. Oh my god, checkpoint, let's go. By any chance, is there a specific genre you'd recommend so far for the controller? I mostly play Metroidvania with the controller. I would recommend like third-person action games, like the Souls games, like any FromSoft game, really. or like something like Devil May Cry, I would want to play those games with a controller personally over mouse and keyboard. With FPS games, I normally prefer mouse and keyboard nowadays, but I grew up with controller, so I can still do it. Oh, fuck. Okay, I can definitely take care of this with the fuel rod. I need to not miss, though. I should be smart here. I don't know. Can I get the Wraith over to the end of the map? Okay, I should have just meleeed there.
Watch it now. Pelicans coming in. Brutes have plenty of armor between here and Void, Chief. This Warthog should help you punch on through.
Alright, let me see if I can get any more carbine ammo. That'd be nice. I'll save that. I'll take the trip mine instead, actually.
I'll drive. Don't worry, I got gunner seat.
You are not driving.
Plenty left for you.
Alright, here we go. Beast mode enabled.
Get closer and engage! Sniper is down!
Dude, flipped it immediately. Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Oh my god, my NPC companions are stupid. What an idiot. Alright, let's not bump into guys and flip over. Note to self, let's not eat shit. Drive, baby, drive. Instead of the Warthog, I'm gonna take the chopper. That way I can manually fire. Ooh! Oh my god, I have so much fuel rod. That's so nice. Now this section can eat peen. This bit can be such an asshole. Wait. This is why I like the chop. I can long range it here. Got rid of him. We go around town here. It's the music. The Bungie era Halo soundtrack is so undefeated. Get rid of that. These two come in. I have to like handle that better. Choppers can tear you up. Get rid of you. I got almost lucky there. It just, my movement needs to be better. They drop a Wraith on me there too. I don't remember that. All right, I got a way better idea. Let's just like run through. They're gonna drop a Wraith. Got him. Aw, my chopper's gone too. Cringe. I can at least get the Warthog back. Now there is a play you can do here, and that is you can get the Wraith. It's always helpful when they drive off the cliff for you. got boned in the east. Oh, dude, that's so brutal. All right, we just move forward. All right, enough with the cute stuff. We just need to drive on. Oh my god, that phantom, dude. Yeah. All right. Phantom should be around. Ah, there it is. Oh no. Oh! Oh, I walked right into that. I've never played Halo. The Bungie Halos, like, still stand the test of time, in my opinion. They're so fun. It's such a shame what 343 did to Halo, man. Halo used to be, like, the game. I've replayed these games so many times. While Halo 3 is still my favorite, the story is a bit non-existent in the first half. Mainly just getting to the part with actual plot progression. I both love and hate this mission at the same time. It's basically just Brute City. Of the lineups for the pre-orders. God, Halo Machinima back in the day was so elite. They used to add functionality into the game to lower your weapon just for Machinima. There was always like a glitch before that, but like they added the actual functionality into some of the later games back in the day. In terms of later. Oh no. I don't know how I'm evading this dude. I do not know how I lived that. How did I survive? What? I'll take it, but I definitely should have been dead there. Good, I remember the magic ratio there. Hello, Angry Shooter. Welcome to the stream. What do you think about Asha Sharma? I think so far she's said a lot of the right stuff. She's impressed me a hell of a lot more than what the previous leadership have done. Though I will say it does kind of feel like she basically went on like Chat GPT and said how to make Xbox players happy and just kind of did that. My biggest problem with Xbox since like the release of the One has been their biggest problem isn't like features or anything like that. It's been that games have been dog shit. That's been their primary issue for the longest time. Xbox games used to be absolutely elite. Then they just started dropping the ball. A background in AI. Yeah, it was a red flag at the time, but I feel like everything she's said and has since incorporated for Xbox has been good. I still think, like, ultimately, the games that come out in a couple of years will be, like, the biggest indicator. Halo has always been like a good litmus test for the state of Xbox. If they fuck up Halo, then other parts in their pipeline are also fucked. It's like Nintendo with Mario. Obviously, Mario sells more, but like there was a time when that wasn't necessarily the case. There was a time when Halo was basically the biggest IP in the world. It's like one of the things I kind of push back on when some people say it's like Xbox needs to go back to exclusivity. It's like that's not going to solve the root issue. The biggest root issue they have right now is that their games suck ass. No one's going to want to get an Xbox for like a collection of bad games that are exclusive to Xbox. They have to make good games first. Like, they have the IP, it's just a matter of they have to make them. And for, like, the IP that they have, like, being good isn't enough. They have to be great. I think one of the biggest problems Xbox has had, and like a lot of Western game studios have had, is that the people in charge and at the top view games like a series of like checkboxes to hit, where they care more about having certain points to advertise than be able to have those points advertise themselves by the nature of the quality of them. So it's like, I think Halo, again, a great litmus test for this. Where it's like, they saw a bunch of like other games starting to be like in trends, so they have augmented and morphed Halo in such a way to follow them. They're no longer like okay with Halo existing as Halo. They want Halo to follow the biggest trends of the day. And they hire people down the chain of command in accordance to what they believe will be like the most advertiser friendly, or like the people that will get them to that trend following endpoint that they want. It's been an issue where it's like back in the 2000s and early 2010s, gaming made a ton of money. So you have a bunch of people that don't specialize or don't even know gaming that saw that money and wanted a piece of that pie. So they position themselves in such a way and essentially infiltrate these corporations and these companies in order to get a piece of that pie. And they treat gaming and game development like other industries. But the problem is, when you do that, you miss the forest and you also miss the trees. You can't treat game development like you're just producing a new pair of shoes or like you're producing a new roll of toilet paper or stuff like that. You can't just scale production up and just get more games out the door. There's like diminishing returns when you eventually cross from, we aren't giving these teams enough resources to functionally do what we want them to do, versus we have too many chefs in the kitchen and now everything's just a matter of, hey, is this shit gonna offend anybody? Yeah? Alright, change it. They don't understand the consumer draw to the product. That too.
Chief, the Prophet of Truth has found the Ark. Our only only chance of stopping him is a surprise aerial assault.
So it's like
Director of Covenant
it's like a trickle down effect of like incompetence and stupidity.
Good hunting. Keys out.
The thing when it comes to like Asha Sharma is that I like a lot of what she said. We're not going to really see the ramifications of essentially what her stewardship of Xbox will look like in terms of the games for a couple of years, because the games have to be developed first. They probably have a bunch of games already in development that were developed under the principles of the previous administration. So it wouldn't surprise me if Xbox games still feel like dog shit for a couple of years. I am a bit like concerned about Halo because of that. I wouldn't be surprised though if we start to see like signs of change. Now, whether the changes are going to be good or not remains to be seen.
Eyes will soon be closed.
Devs don't take many risks anymore. The problem is they don't, publishers do. What do I mean by this? I think the biggest fucking clown show in gaming right now, it's not mixtape, that's one of them. It's not like any of these like weird people on Twitter. The biggest clown show in gaming right now, in my opinion, is Sony. Because I don't know who the fucking brainless idiot that's at Sony that thinks going all in on these live service games is a remotely competent strategy. It's one of the most like financially irresponsible and dumb fucking business decisions I've ever seen out of gaming. These games require a ton of investment from a lot of people, and a lot of money needs to be poured into each of these games' development. And at some point, you're going to cannibalize your own audience. Because there's only so many people that are going to put so much investment into these kinds of games, because it's not like a game like Halo where you can play the main story, it takes a few hours, you beat it, and then every now and then you play the multiplayer. Oh, a new FPS game came out, let me go play that as well alongside Halo. That doesn't really work for like these big live service games. You only have so much time and just emotional investment you can put into the stuff. Eventually that market's going to hit a maximum. I think we've already hit it. And if you just try to like develop all of these different live service games and like make all of your different IP into these live service games, or at least a large majority of them, they require so much time and money to actually develop, you're gonna have these massive losses. It's just like at some point, you're just gonna start throwing money into an incinerator because you're not gonna make it back. And we go back to a previous point I was talking about, where it's like, there's clearly a bunch of people in positions of influence and authority in these big, major corporations that don't know gaming and they don't understand gaming. But the problem is they're in these positions to where they have the final say. Because I don't know how the fuck you ever let Concord out the door. I don't know how the hell you let some of these other games get out the door. These issues are like readily apparent from like watching 4 seconds of a trailer. I'm not joking. And like the fact they don't recognize it, to me, is a larger condemnation than actually developing these games. Because like everyone makes mistakes. Every time we can have our blinders up. That's fine. But the fact that people looked at some of these things and said, okay, this is good, that's the bigger issue going on right now, in my opinion. There's a lot of factors, absolutely, but there's a few like larger factors than others, in my opinion.
Let's get going, sir. Admiral's waiting for us to clear the anti-air.
So it's like when it comes to like game development, I can understand why a lot of like developers and stuff don't take risks anymore. Because there's a lot of games that try to take risks, they just like aren't good and end up bombing. I think it's one of the reasons like a game like Expedition 33 did so well.
Admiral's waiting for us to clear the anti-air.
And I said it before, it's not because it does like anything new, because it doesn't really do that. It's just a love letter to a style of game, and it's done very well. So you have like this weird combination of like some developers and publishers not taking enough risks and like sticking to their guns far too much, but then other times they take the dumbest risks, where it's not even like necessarily a risk, it's just an obvious mistake. Like Sony with all these different like live service games, where they want everything to pop off like, say, a Helldivers 2 situation. And they want everything to have that level of success, when it's obvious to anyone with like a working brainstem that's not going to happen.
My boys are gonna love us for that.
That away, Chief. Target
I think it's also like one of the reasons like a discussion surrounding a game like Mixtape is blowing up. Because I think like ordinarily, if Mixtape came out, there would be like a few people that be kind of into that, because there are some people that like those kind of games. Nothing wrong with them. But I think the main reason like discussion on that game blew up like it has is simply because of the critic view. Because for a lot of people, and I wouldn't even say they're wrong on this. Damn, I just got like absolutely dunked on. I wouldn't even say they're like wrong for this. A lot of people view game criticism and what game journalists and critics advocate for or against to be antithetical to what a lot of people actually care about. I think there's a lot of truth in that. You're always going to have people online that like or dislike something, but I think on average, game critics and like game journalists are very disconnected. And when you have a bunch of games that like very obviously should be highly rated, and you see like some like game journalists and critics try to draw up controversy surrounding these games, and then they praise these games that are obviously far more niche, and they hold themselves in such a way to where they feel elitist and superior for liking these kinds of games, it creates a bunch of bad blood. It's like, I don't mind, I kind of like visual novels. Those don't have a lot of gameplay. So it's like, I can't rag on like Mixtape for that. But for me, I can look at Mixtape, I can look at just the art style and say, that's not for me. I know it's not for me. I know I'm not gonna like this style of game or this like atmosphere. And I can know that from looking at one screenshot. Ordinarily for most people, I think that would be the case as well. But we've had this like recurring issue with game journalists and game critics for like over 10 years at this point. And I think it's starting to hit a fever pitch, where you have this like unending crusade of game journalists and critics trying to find relevancy in a market increasingly dominated from like YouTube and Twitch and live streaming and all that. Yeah, I've heard the gameplay is basically just like a couple of mini games you can like play like a fidget spinner. I don't think that necessarily is a bad thing. There are some people who like games like that. Oh, I got hoed there. But it's just like, obviously when a bunch of critics, and you see like those like splash screens of like 10 out of 10s from like a whole list of different like outlets and all that. And then you compare that like over the years, like some of these like controversies some game journalists and critics have tried to draw up for some of these other games that a lot of people also like. Like that dichotomy. and you see like a bunch of these articles that come out. It's like every like week or so, you can like find some like idiot of the week when it comes to like some major outlet putting out some stupid opinion. It's not like a new phenomenon, but stuff hits a breaking point at some times. You hit a con and rewind and it corrects you. Yeah. Because the game kind of seems like a glorified visual novel. It's basically just, not a visual novel, it's basically just a movie. There's like a few bits of interactivity like a fidget spinner. That is a hyper niche product. But it's also like the case of like, you ever get into like an anime discussion and like some people act like if you haven't seen this like one show that 4 people have watched, then your taste of absolute giga shit? It's like an extension of like that feeling, I think. For the audiences after, yeah. It's like, I don't think mixtape by itself is like any like great sin. It's like the critic reaction to it that's like the bigger issue. Because there's clearly a problem with a lot of like Western gaming studios right now. Not all of them, granted. But there's clearly a bad trend going on right now. And there's like pervasive feeling of the people in charge of this medium and its creation and its like propagation being disconnected from the people consuming the product. I think that's generally like a very pervasive feeling. It's on a spectrum, but I feel like most people feel as if they're on that spectrum at some point. It's like, for me, it's like my favorite game series of all time is a hyper niche like JRPG series, Xeno. Like Xenogears, Xenoblade, Xenosaga. Those are very niche. Actually, I'm not entirely sure why I brought that up. My brain just kind of defaults to like bring this conversation into Xeno somehow. People making games on gamers anymore. I think it's partly that. I talked about the trickle-down effect before, where you have these like people that came into gaming in positions of like massive authority and influence that just wanted the money, or like part of the money that gaming was making in the 2000s and early 2010s. And also now with like the COVID boom. Like they want a piece of that pie, so they come into gaming and they treat it like a different industry. Like they're making socks, like they're making toilet paper, like they're making some kind of consumable item or just like any other industry. But you can't treat game development like that. So they hire people down the chain of command that they think will put them in the best position to make money. So they end up hiring, in my opinion, a bunch of people that also end up being out of touch. So it's like you have like some people that argue, well, it's just the people in charge and in these positions of authority that are the issue. It's like, yeah, that's like a major reason. But there are people down the totem pole that are also like out of touch. Or they're approaching certain IPs with, let's call it malicious intent. Not from a place of love or passion, but from a place where they want to put the personal, like, stamp on it. Or change it in such a way to suit their interests and their own, like, agendas. I do that with, like, Legend of Dragoon. I have that game next to me. I never played it. I want to get into it, though. Part of the culture you find in Hollywood. Yeah, a lot of the issues we find in gaming right now also, like, apply, like, Hollywood and stuff like that. It's a very interconnected issue. There's like way too many people at the top of these like totem poles in these companies and these studios. This is not just for gaming. that view the products they put out the door as just a series of checklists and check boxes to hit, because they view that would be like good advertising for like Twitter. So they hire people to hit these check boxes. And they approach these IPs and these like things with their own agendas and their own like goals, instead of trying to make that one thing be really good. Hello, Star. Welcome to the stream. If the game took off. Yeah. I think you still get that. I think like the AA scene right now puts out some pretty damn good stuff.
Check your fire.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Flush him out, sir. We'll nail him with your
Well, another problem that exists in gaming right now is outsourcing. It's like outsourcing is a big one. Because why would you hire a core group to develop your game or certain elements of your game, and you have to charge them American worker rates or like European worker rates? Why would you do that when you can just outsource it to some other country around the world that has like absolute giga shit worker rates, and just say, you guys like handle this one thing. We need a bunch of assets. You guys go do it. They're like overworked and underpaid to hell and back 5 times over. They can't be asked having passion for a project. They're just being like told, hey, we need like a few things from you for this larger project. You're not touching the rest of it. We just need a few things from you. We need you to do this one thing. So they have their own standardized thing, and they're just like, okay, cookie cutter, get out the door. Cookie cutter, get out the door. Cookie cutter, get out the door. I think that's like part of the erasure for like the aesthetic for like a lot of established IPs. It all circles back to grade. Hello, God's Country. Welcome to the stream. Dude, buggers are the worst, man. There's gonna be a point where AI takes off and it's going to flip the entire board. Yep. It's like people expect it to be a bubble, and I think it could burst a little bit, but it's like AI is going to be something that's just, it's going to like hit a threshold at some point. It's just going to. That's how technology works. And like when it hits that threshold, I don't think we're at that threshold yet, but I think we're getting to it. And I think we're getting to that threshold faster than a lot of people thought we would.
I have defied gods and demons.
Look at a lot of anime style games. Yeah, that's a great example. You see a lot of these like anime style games, and they just like pushed out the door as fast as possible. It's like already, it's like, I think there's a lot of games that have been coming out that have incorporated AI into their workflow, and I'm talking generative AI, that just haven't been spotted yet. I think that's been going on. And like every now and then a company gets like outed for it, and we get a bunch of outcry. But I think there's been a few that probably gotten under the radar. And the thing we have to like bear in mind when it comes to like general audiences and all that, the general audience will never give a fuck. The only thing they will care about at the end of the day is if the product that is shipped out the door is good. Or good enough. That's an important disclaimer. Not necessarily good, good enough. Right now, when you see a bunch of like very obvious AI generated stuff, it's very obvious and can feel out of place, depending upon the implementation. It will get to a point where it no longer feels like that, or is discernible like that for the average person. And I think we're closer to that than a lot of people think. Like hell, the big one for me that trips me up, like hand to God, AI music. sometimes I'll be able to like hear it. Other times I won't. Not that it's a good thing, it's just things happen. Some AI human music is actually peak as fuck. Like, here's the thing, like, some of it's good. It's like, I will never forget, like, my first real, like, eye-opening experience when it comes to this. There was an AI cover of 50 Cent, Many Men, Wish Death Upon Me. And it was, like, AI generated or, like, AI made in such a way to be in the style of, like, glam metal or, like, hair metal. And it sounded really good to me. And I didn't know it was AI until like a little bit after the fact. You think one day you'll be able to generate a whole game from a prompt? Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of people, myself included, will rag on AI because we'll look at things like DLSS 5 and they'll be like giga shit. But then you see some of the AI functionality we have with like our phones now. Holy shit. Like, even if it's not like the best translation, I can look at a video that's in a different language. I can have it generate me subtitles in that language and then have an AI translate those subtitles into English. That is functionality that exists on modern phones. Did we thread the needle on that? I've never gotten that scarab to die without going over there. No, I think it's just like stunned. And develop that product. I mean, it's like there's been a leak going around about the next FromSoft game. Where it's like it's supposed to be like some like pirate game where your main hub is like a pirate ship. And you go to the different like... Glad I used that. And you go to the different parts of the map with the pirate ship. People have generated like AI like images to show off what that could like look like. Hello Designs, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. And hello Partial. My favorite Final Fantasy 14 streamer. Oh, thank you Designs, I appreciate that. I'm currently getting my ass blasted by the scarab. Make AI walking sims. If you want to be like really brain broken when it comes to this stuff, go on like TikTok. There's like two big trends. There's like movie summations with like an AI voice where like the main character is always named John or some shit, like Jack. But then there's another one which is like AI generated scenes or something. Some of them look better than you think they look. Which Halo is this? This is Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection. So just Halo 3. Welcome back, John. Nice nature trail, ate some wild blackberries and ran amok. Nice. You lived the elvish experience, John. I hope you're proud. I swore off TikToks and shorts. The thing with like TikTok is it's like infinitely better if you know specifically how to fuck with the algorithm. If you know exactly how to like mess with the TikTok algorithm, it can be a very good experience. Because you can get some like weirdly like informational that's not English. Weirdly informative videos. You just have to know like how to tell TikTok you like a particular topic or dislike a particular topic. For me, I go full brain. For me, I normally just try to make my TikTok like half re-zero. So it's like if I get a TikTok for anything re-zero related, I just like watch it, like, and like favorite it. I'll lose whole days of my life. I feel that. I want to play Final Fantasy 13. I want to see it for myself. Cat karate animations are the best. It's like, I saw a video earlier today where it's like, what's my dog doing in the bathroom? And it's like this AI generated video of a dog in the shower dancing to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And for like what people want out of short form content. Oh, fuck! Oh, it piss beamed me, man! Alright. It's giga shit. I need to know for myself, though. Also, it might be relevant to Final Fantasy XIV. And my brain rot is absolutely rancid when it comes to that game lately. Come on, lock on. No, don't aim at me. Okay, good. Look onto the leg. It's right there. There you go. You know what game I can't stop playing off stream, by the way? Half-Life 2. That game clicked in a big way on my second playthrough I've been doing off stream to get footage. And I don't know why. It's got me by the balls. I just beat Ravenholm again. Is the one I enjoyed the least. Funnily enough, for me, the one I enjoyed the least is Final Fantasy 12. The main thing I'm doing in Final Fantasy 14 right now is trying to round out my dailies for Dog Trail, but also I'm trying to get the relics.
We'll try and draw its fire.
I'll rage for your sanity when you play 13. I will never forget back in the day of Jesse Cox reacting to Final Fantasy 13-3 and being so wildly upset with the game. It was the funniest shit. Like, I remember watching his playthrough and being like, that's the game? I'm getting swarmed. Really changes things up. I hope so too, and I think they're going to. And obviously we have to wait for the execution, but like I've been talking about, it's like you don't get good execution consistently without good ideas. I think when it comes to Evercult, they have the right ideas. Motherfucker, stand still. There you go. Alright, good sticky grenade, by the way. Dickhead. That's what I'm looking for. On your knees. Oh yeah, present your anus. Get over here. Not you. I love the art design and the world design in Final Fantasy 12. Those are the strongest elements for me. I hate everything else. Correction, I really like Ash, and I like Boltier, and I like the bunny go with the ass out. Those are my favorite parts of Final Fantasy 12. I hate the Gambit system. Uh-oh. I think we're going to play more Half-Life. I'm going to pick up Half-Life Alyx when it's on sale. We're going to play that because there's going to be a mod for that. I'm going to do like a Half-Life 2 Banned Woods stream alongside Halo 3, alongside Halo later this week. Probably the weekend.
One more target, Chief.
I still need to do Black Mesa. I forgot. We need to stream Black Mesa.
Start his attack run.
The creator's in like love with lightning. I will never forget Jesse being like, you have a on the clock tower with sunglasses going, you should know who I am. Fuck you. It's like his level of anger towards Final Fantasy 13 is like 5% of my anger and rage towards Halo. Has a few spooky pots. Yeah, it looks pretty good from the screenshots I've seen on Steam. Bro, nice like all in one.
There was honor in it.
I am your shield. I am your sword.
Nice. I love it when Chief has a mental breakdown. Let's go, Abby. Oh god, I have to deal with Hunters soon. It's also VR, so I get it. Yeah. Also, I think I legitimately did like Half-Life 2 a bit of a disservice with my playthrough. Because like there's like entire plot points that are like major and very obvious that I just never picked up on. Like the whole Combine restricting like reproduction and all that. For some reason, I just never picked that up. And I don't know why. Also, I managed to do Ravenholm with only the grav gun. It's like I haven't felt this way about like an FPS game since Bungie Halo. I'm like head over heels with Half-Life 2 right now.
What do we do now?
Through population control. Yeah, for some reason, I must have missed that, and I just never picked up on it. Oh, that's cool, COD. Yeah, he was like the first he was like the second YouTuber I ever really watched. The first one was a RuneScape YouTuber called Nightmare RH. I don't know if he's still around. I used to watch him religiously when I was like 8 years old. But then I got into like Jesse and like Total Biscuit. Rip. Alright. Oh my god, this section gonna hurt. Okay. I have to go back for the shotgun after I blast them with the rockets here. At any point throughout the trilogy. Yeah. I mean, it gets a little bit close with the, like, Cortana visions. It's like, that's, funnily enough, been the one thing I've been really, I liked historically throughout the 343 games. I kind of like what they did with Chief. It's just, that's kind of the only thing I like. Still miss him. Yeah, he was my favorite. A large reason why I even do YouTube to begin with is because of him. Like, a lot of my ideas come from him, and apparently a lot of his ideas come from Giant Bomb, funnily enough. Funnily enough, that's the one thing I was always confused by. It's like when Fable kept getting those trailers back in the day. To me, it was like the unfunniest shit possible. And when I talked about that, people kept telling me that's just British humor. But like, I grew up on British YouTubers. They were actually funny. So I don't know if I'm being gaslit or if I'm like watch only the funniest like British people, or, like the only funny British people. It's like one of the two.
Skies and lashing fire are all that remains for them and we. unworthy has passed beyond.
I will not be shamed.
Oh, thank you, John.
Not by you.
Okay, I need a BR. And for me, it kind of helped because, like, I began... It's like, even from, like, when I was a kid, I got into it. Like, back in the day with, like, RuneScape. With, like, Nightmare OH. Then I got into Halo. So, like, Halo Machinima, Obby and the Chief, Red vs. Blue. And then also, like, World of Warcraft stuff. That's how I found Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox back in the day. It was WoW stuff. Then it like branched from there, because then I would watch like Total Biscuit's like WTFO's videos. About TV or movies, yeah. I don't care about like any new TV or movies either. I've been going back to watch a lot of movies that I haven't seen though. Like a lot of like John Wayne movies and westerns. I watched The Great Escape. I'm watching Braveheart right now. I got like 30 minutes left of that. Like 40 actually. For me, it's just like anime or like old movies. Is Monty Python. I've seen some Monty Python sketches, and I think they're funny. Like the Biggest Dickest one, that one's funny. Got him, thank God. Like, a moment like that is when I would like gyro, personally. For, like, the controller. Very small adjustments like that. Hello, Reboot. Welcome to the shape. How dare you steal my Steam controller? Them's the breaks. Mine took fucking forever to come. Got him at the last round. Let's go. Oh, I got stuck, bro. Oh. Good old-fashioned hoe job there. What was that? I will say now that we've been playing a bit, I don't know if this is just a me thing or like today's a little bit warm. My hands on this controller are getting sweaty.
Oh no!
I don't normally notice my hands getting sweaty on a controller, but I notice it here. So far, so good.
Chief, that gun's been firing non-stop. It's gotta be running hot.
Come on, bring that gun down. Got him. Mission complete. Maybe it's hotter than most. I don't really notice the controller being like that hot. It feels like a... Maybe like... Nah, it feels like room temp to me. It only really feels warm because of my hands. I might just, I run hot as an individual. So it might just be that, like maybe the material. Song though. I will never forgive 343 Industries for like retconning the biggest fucking plot point of Halo. I will never forgive them for that. God. It's like the Forerunners being humanity just works so well for what the game goes for, man.
This is the way the world ends.
Love that line. This is the way the world ends. Co-op. I've played this game co-op so many times. It's so good. Halo co-op with a buddy is such a great experience.
What did Truth just do? Did he activate the rings?
No, sir. But he certainly did something.
He opened a portal.
Backloaded and regroup. Wherever Truth went. Sir, new contact slipping in.
Uh-oh. And the Flood have made it to Earth. This is the way the world ends. One Flood spore can wipe out an entire species.
More brutes? Worse.
And we have a ship full of them. Floodgate. Stop the infestation. Find Cortana. And after just a couple of hours, all hell's breaking loose. You know, it's kind of funny in a lot of ways, the shocking amount of connections there are between, like, Xeno lore and, like, Halo lore. Especially with, like, the prominence Africa plays in the overall plot for some, like, ancient alien, like, mysterious device. God, the Arc portal over there is so good, man. I never really appreciate just, like, how grandiose it looks over there. Another part that I really love is, like, this little detail over here. It's especially true if you go, like, theater mode and look over there, but, like, there's a little encounter with, like, some soldiers and the Flood coming out here. You can't contribute to that fight. It's just part of the setting, what goes on. They were overrun immediately. Let's not fall off the map. Was Earth resettled after Halo 3, or did we just start on a new planet? Nah, Earth was fine. So what happens is after this mission, Shipmaster, the elites that are on our side, was just going to glass the entire Earth to prevent the Flood infestation. But we managed to, like, convince him to only glass Africa. Or half of Africa. So it's like that part of the world is glassed, but humanity lives in the rest of it. When I played it either. Yeah, like when I was a dumb kid, it's just like, oh, cool alien guys. I didn't really appreciate like settings and all that much. Alright, priority number 1, get a shotgun. Not an SMG, I need a shotgun. Get my booty hole played with. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Thanks, Oppie, for kicking the table, by the way. Appreciate that. Really contributed to the cause, you know?
Let us find their ship. Make short work of this abomination.
It's funny how in lore, the Covenant weapons are supposed to be, like, basically perfectly designed for the Flood, but in-game, they're fucking useless. You just want a shotgun. I always forget, where's New Mombasa supposed to be? It's not Kenya, right? Because that'd be a crazy another connection to Xeno. Up and around. The funny thing with a lot of like Halo speedruns is like how many levels just boil down to run past everything. Because they kind of just let you. Cortana, not the right time.
It's not safe. The grave mine. It knows it.
Yeah, during the entire course of Halo 3, the grave mine is basically just torturing Cortana the entire time. And trying to mentally break her. Are the Flood like zombies? Kind of. It's like Lovecraftian horror zombies. So the thing with the Flood is if you play 40k. Oh my god, what's that one race from 40k? Think of them like the Tyranids, or think of them like the Zerg from StarCraft, but way worse. What do I mean by this? So with the Flood, when it's a small infestation like this, they're just kind of feral. They just want more biomass and they'll swarm you and kill you. They aren't really thinking. But when they get enough of them together, they make a grave mine. This is when shit gets pear-shaped. Grave mines are basically like the hive mind, but also at the same time, arguably the most intelligent thing in all of history. And they're able to like use their vast knowledge to strategize. Basically, if you get exposed to like a flood spore at all, you're done. You're just cooked. Oh, man. My sensitivity's too low for what I was trying to do there. Yeah, they'll infect you and turn you into like a flood form. Sometimes they're not able to like fully take over your nervous system. So sometimes they have full control of your body while you're still conscious. Bro. I put down a mine and it blew me up. Look at my health back. My shields, technically. I was trying to get my shields back there. I kind of have to be aggressive. They will swarm you like that. Problem with the Halo 3 shotgun is it has no range to speak of. I keep messing with these mine placements. That's all I mean. It's been a while. They spread like a fungus? Yeah, kinda. They either infect you with, like, flood forms, or their spores themselves get in your body and then just take you over. They are highly infectious. They are essentially the ultra endgame of the Halo universe. They're the ultimate threat above everything. It's like the whole thing with the Halo rings is that the ancient race called the Forerunners were in a war against the Flood, and it was a losing war. They were far more advanced than us, technologically speaking, and had access to way better weaponry than we do, but it was all useless in the face of the Flood. So they designed their Halo rings with one purpose. The Halo rings couldn't wipe out the Flood. That was an impossibility. That's just not going to happen. What they used their Halo rings for was to wipe out all life in the galaxy. Because if they did that, then the Flood wouldn't have any food, and the Flood would starve out. And then the hope was they could have, like, life resettle. Like Jurassic Park, life finds a way. That was the ultimate endgame with the Halo rings. Wipe out all life in the galaxy. Sow the seeds in various installations to allow life to prosper again afterwards. Kill everyone and let the Flood starve to death. That was the only way to deal with them. Unfortunately, though, even when they did do that, it didn't work. Because there was some Flood out of reach, or like underneath some worlds to where the Halo rings couldn't get to them. The Flood is basically Microsoft. Yeah, the Flood are like intrusive AI applications. Think of it like that. Flood are underlings of Nurgle. And like, bear in mind, this was the level we just did. We're just playing it in reverse, but the Flood's been here for like an hour. And they've already done this after that one ship crashed. Now, canonically, like the shotgun and the stuff we're using wouldn't work really, because it would just be like splattering Flood spores everywhere. You would want like plasma weaponry to burn it. But like, even then, the Flood is me with Papa John's pizza, all-consuming. Yo, Sam. Now, you may be asking, wow, so the Flood are like the endgame of the Halo universe and are this ultra threat. I wonder what 343 Industries have done with the Flood in a video game. Now, the answer to that question, my dear chat, would be fucking nothing. This is the last game we see of the Flood. That's not like a multiplayer mode. We don't see the Flood in Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite. Not even like Halo ODST. We don't see them in Halo Reach. They talk about the Flood in books. You got that. Apparently there's a whole world out there that's been fully infested with the Flood. Have we seen that in a game? No. Alright, we're going into the Flood Ussy. I'm glad we have the Mjolnir protection for this.
Do not be afraid. I am peace. I am salvation.
And I am a monument to all your sins. That's the Grave Mind. He is like the hive mind of the Flood that have formed in this infestation. I think it's the same one from Halo 2. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Moist? Oh, absolutely. This is one of the cool things, and honestly a little bit revolutionary at the time in like 2007. The amount of like destructible little environment stuff like Halo had. And you're like being able to interact with the environment. Other games had this kind of stuff, but like Halo 3 kind of leaned into it. I have here feel more unique. Yeah, 343 hasn't like fucked up the Flood yet.
Join your voice with mine and sing victory everlasting.
Yeah, so as a reminder, we don't have Cortana, our AI companion, because we left her behind on the alien like home base in Halo 2. And this entire time she's just being tortured by the Gravemind. He's legit just trying to break her.
Chief,
Cortana?
High Charity, the Prophet's holy city is on...
Cortana.
This cunt. Yes, they got the name 343 Industries from this little, like, anal bead.
Any further
Wait.
trauma?
Leave her alone.
If we do not take this device to a safe location, somewhere I can make repairs.
On Halo, you tried to kill Cortana. You tried to
He
kill
said the name of the game.
Protocol dictated my response. She had the activation index, and you were going to destroy my installation.
Installation's a Halo ring.
My installation.
That was Combat Evolved, the first game.
Function to
We blew one up.
reclaimer, as I always should have done.
So I'll explain the great big 343 Industries retcon. So we're called a reclaimer here. Basically, in the distant past, there were these like very advanced aliens called the Forerunners. A lot of their ruins, that shit right there, are from the Forerunners.
Will it live, Oracle? Then if you say
The Covenant, the main alien bad guys we normally fight in these games, the what people,
Highly unstable.
Perhaps one of our...
they essentially
That will
worship the
not be
Forerunners
necessary.
like gods.
Success.
High Charity, the Prophet's holy city is on its way to Earth with an army of Flood. I can't tell you everything. It's not safe. The Grave Mind, it knows I'm in the system.
It's just a message.
let it play.
But it doesn't know about the portal, where it leads. On the other side, there's a solution, a way to stop the Flood, without firing the remaining Halo rings. Oh! Hurry, Chief. The Ark. There isn't much time.
I'm sorry.
No matter.
I remember when they had me pose for that.
Our fight is through the portal. With the brutes and the bastard truth.
Truth is the lead of the Covenant.
We'll remain here.
The Prophet of
As
Truth.
long as we can.
Did you not hear? Your world is doomed. A flood army. A grave mother has you in its sights. You barely survived a small contamination.
God, I wish
You,
MCC had better
shipmaster,
audio
just
balance.
glassed half a continent. Maybe the flood isn't all I should be worried about.
One single flood spore can destroy a species. Were it not for the Arbiter's Council, I would have glassed your entire planet.
Sir, with respect.
Basically, they bombarded the surface of Africa with like high density
Is here
plasma
condition?
and just
How
burned it
damaged
until
she
the
is?
surface becomes glass.
She could be corrupted for all we know. Her solution could be a flood trap.
We should go through the portal. Find out for sure.
What we should do, Commander, is understand, clearly, that this is humanity's final stand. Here, at Earth. We go, we risk everything. Every last man, woman, and child.
Yeah, fuck them.
If we stand our ground, we might just have a chance.
No. If your construct is wrong, then the flood is already won.
I'll find Cortana's solution. And I'll bring it back.
Earth is all we have left. You trust Cortana that much?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Well, this is either the best decision you've ever made or the worst. Hell of it is, Chief. I doubt I'll live long enough to find out much.
God, this scene's so badass. Former enemies. Now we're teaming up to fight against a universal cataclysm. Abby come through with the rocket launchers and the machine gun. Cortana's solution is anime girls. Yeah, we're gonna Uwu-fy the Grave Mind. He's just a tsundere, we have to bust up the dere. This is me going off to find the lost copy of Halo 4. I mean, not Halo 4, I mean Xenoblade 4, damn it. Fuck that joke up. figured I'd fuck it up with like Halo 4, you know? That game's a fuck up too. Should the story have ended with 3? I think there's ways to expand on it and make it interesting and good. Problem is 343 was fucking incompetent. That's the main issue. I try to view it as like 2 separate canons.
Brute ships, staggered line.
One of my favorite lines.
Shipmaster, they outnumber us 3 to 1.
Then it is an even fight.
Might
All
go.
cruisers file at will.
Burn them mongrel hides. Shipmaster, well, numbered 3 to 1. Then it is an even fight.
He must have gone to ground.
Roger that, ma'am. We're on him. Kick the door.
We have made it to the Ark. The big central piece of the whole Halo array. The thing that makes Halos. And Star Wars and Disney Star Wars. Basically, yeah. Just too big to deal with, so they ignore it for the sake of another story. Well, the problem they run into is that the reception to their story ends up being so bad and negative, they treat each new game like basically like a soft reboot. The problem is that that game is also that game also ends up to be shit, so they have to reboot it again. Do we see the issue? Though, to be fair, I think Halo Infinite is easily their best effort.
Priority 1.
That one's more just an issue with execution instead of ideas.
Keep your eyes and ears open. We need all the intel we can get. Wherever the hell we are.
I still have Halo 5 as like the worst game I've ever played. It's done an irreparable harm to like the entire story. Like, Halo Infinite does a damn good job trying to like bandage over the lore of what Halo 5 did, but you can't recover from it. Fully, at least. God, Bungie's skyboxes are so elite, man. Well, that's the Milky Way. So we just went from Earth all the way to out here.
Chief,
343 should sell shoes. Well, the thing is, 343 either didn't understand or they didn't care about like the main theme going on with Halo. So the ancient alien civilization that like made the Ark, that made the Halos, that made a lot of these installations like that over there, are called the Forerunners. The Covenant are the main alien bad guys that we fight. These guys that I'm shooting at right now are the Covenant. They essentially are a theocratic, like, dictatorship surrounded by their religion, which is centered around the Great Journey. They want to follow in the footsteps of essentially their gods, the Forerunners. But the great lie that is told by their higher-ups and their prophets is that humanity is descended from the Forerunners. Forerunners are humanity. So they're essentially genociding their gods. Like, that's the great, like, irony of the Halo story. Is that these guys, in their religious fervor, are, like, directly wiping out the people they should be worshipping. The prophets know this. The prophets are the leaders of the Covenant. They know this, but they uphold the lie. Their goal is to activate the Halo rings, because that's what the Forerunners did. They want to follow in the footsteps of the Forerunners, and they believe they'll get to, like, paradise and salvation after they activate the Halo rings. But the Halo rings are just going to kill everyone. So that's, like, the great, like, theme and the great, like, irony of the Halo lore. Now, you may be asking, how did 343 fuck this up? So they retconned that. So that's not what it is anymore. You gotta remember, the first, like, Halo games from the 2000s are from Bungie. 343 Industries got it after Halo 4. Well, with Halo 4. That was their first, like, main game. They retconned it to have never been that. So actually the Forerunners are someone completely separate. And there was actually another race called Ancient Humanity. Now, why did they do this? We still don't know. To be fair, 343 has some interesting, like, backstory and, like, lore as well. It's just... they fuck up the basic stuff. Because, like, the original Bungie games are not subtle about this. It's like, heck, one of the big things is that the Covenant discover a message from the Forerunners. From the Halo rings. Or something. I forget the exact specifics, it's been a while. They translate it as reclamation. Which is like what kicks off their great journey and all that. They read the text as reclamation. They fucked it up though. It doesn't actually mean reclamation, it means reclaim it. And the Forerunner constructs that we interact with, like that little floating ball thing, calls us reclaim it. Because that was what it actually was translated to, or should have been translated to. It wasn't reclamation, it was reclaimer, because it was referring to us reclaiming essentially our birthright. And it's why the Covenant can't really access an interface with any of the Forerunner stuff, but we can. Because the Forerunners programmed it in such a way to require essentially a human to do it, because Forerunners are humanity. Humanity, but like ancient. Yeah, basically. I think I can just run by these guys. Welcome to like half of the Halo speedrun strats, by the way. Just run by everything. Just run past everything. Okay, update on the controller. I still love this thing. It's like, now I'm getting used to the back buttons and all that. It's no longer that, like, uncomfortable because of that. It's just really nice. Oh yeah, the terminals in Halo. Man, these things were so cool. So, like, one of, like, the collectibles in, like, Halo 3 are these various terminals you can find throughout some of the maps. They allow you to, like, gain some extra lore. One of the stories that goes through with these terminals is that there's an entity talking to you as the Master Chief. It's called Mendicant Bias. It was an AI made by the Forerunners that betrayed the Forerunners and joined with the Flood. So we're like essentially communicating with it throughout some of these terminals. When 343 took on Halo? I think so. They retained some people from the original, like, team. But not everybody. So when the dinosaurs died from the meteor, we were the dinosaurs. Integration has sped since the improvements were announced, but there are many hurdles. The indexing of sentient species may have irreversible effects on the surviving insentient species. We will have extinction events and irreparable environmental harm on at least 18 worlds. Current projections estimate post-archival cataclysm on as many as 31 worlds. The paucity of sentience has been a blessing in this regard. I think this is like a recording from the Forerunners before they activated the Halo ring. The Didact. How formal, yes, the guy from Halo 4. How formal you are, librarian. We're receiving shipments of indexed beings more frequently than communications. Don't compound scarcity with brevity. I know things beyond the Maginot Line are harried, but I worry about you. I've asked you time and time again, abandon your cataloging, come back inside where my fleet can keep you safe. Come home. So the Didact and the Librarian are two ancient Forerunners, and like some of these terminals archive a conversation they had way back in the day when the Forerunners were being overrun by the Flood. The didact and the librarian are like husband and wife. So he's basically begging his wife, who's in charge of like indexing like humanity and like life forms, so they can like find a way to exist after they use the Halo ring or Halo array. He's like begging her, basically say, hey, shit's hitting the fan. I need you to come home. It's way too dangerous to be out. Librarian, would that it were my choice. I have committed to this course because it's the right thing to do. We no longer have the manpower or material to excise remedial measures at a planetary level. I certainly can't justify using the transit measure to save my own skin when there's still so many innocents to protect and index. If the Flood had cute waifus, you wouldn't shoot them. I view the Gravemind to be a cute waifu. You know I oppose your mission, but you're exceeding its parameters anyway. You've put yourself in jeopardy, not the game show. You've done enough. If you will not come to me, I will find my way to you. We have no time to spare, Didact. Every vessel we can fill, we send to the Ark. I dare not cease the mission. Not now, not until I've done all I can. Each one of these souls is finite and precious, and I'm close, pause, close to saving them all. Fragment ends. The Gravemind himself isn't an AI. He's like the hive mind that forms when the Flood is able to like bring together enough biomass. And he's able to essentially like hook himself up to like this vast array of cosmic knowledge from this other group of like this other race called the Precursors. With 343 lore, basically what happened was the Forerunners genocided the Precursors, like you do. And as like an last act of defiance, the Precursors, who were basically like these like all-powerful like ancient race that had like vast telepathic powers and all that, as like a final curse, they created... I think it was the Precursor that did this, actually. I'm a little bit shaky. He basically turned his body into like the beginnings of like what would become the Flood. God, I have no BR ammo. Let me get that. Actually, I think there's BR ammo right here. Okay, I need the rockets right now, because there's about to be a couple of choppers that come over here. Alright, and that's why I pick up the rockets.
Mount up. Let's find that LZ. Follow us, sir. All the way down this canyon.
Alright, we move. To me, it's like the greatest problem Halo 3 has overall in terms of structure is that like the first half of the game is basically just getting to this point, and it's at this point when the story really starts to be told. Because the first half is basically just like traveling around like Africa to get to the Ark and to get to like these events. Now things are kicking off and the story really kind of begins. I could argue Halo 2 is like better paced in that regard. It's just the gameplay's so damn good in Halo 3, I don't mind that much. Oh my god, I always die so many times in this upcoming bit. Move, 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 move.
Will overwhelm you.
have to be careful. He's going to charge me. Okay, now I melee him. Sometimes you can get it to where you melee them and the ship itself doesn't die, but the pilot dies, so you can get into it. Oof. Okay. It is getting kind of late and my throat's starting to go, so I'm going to call the stream there for the day. Overall, first impressions with the Steam controller after like a couple of hours of playtime with it, I really like it. A lot of my previous points still kind of hold. I love the triggers and I love the bumpers. I really like the back buttons, but they are very noticeable. I love the sticks. They feel good. They do feel very similar to the sticks from the Steam Deck. D-pad's fine. I wouldn't really call it the D-pad like a standout feature or anything like that, but it's fine. I don't mind it so far. Haven't really had much of a chance to really utilize the trackpads. But they feel like a smoother textured version of the trackpads from the Steam Deck. Oh yeah, this was about the controller? Yeah, we got lost in the sauce. In the music is translating that to the player? Yeah, the music really starts to kick off, yeah. It's like there's only like a handful of missions left, like 4. It's like the Ark, the Covenant, Cortana, and then the final one. But like the missions from here on are like pretty long. Like I'd say the Ark and the next mission are probably like the same as like 2 levels from before. They're very long. And there's a lot to them, but they're awesome. So I'm going to call the stream there for the day. Thank you, Crispies. Thank you, Chilled Like Ice. Thank you, Partial. Thank you, John. Thank you, God's Country. Thank you, Codicide. Thank you, Reboot. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Partial. Thank you, Star. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Void, as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great day. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Is the controller worth the price tag? Oh, yeah, that's a great question to ask. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I would argue for me, yes. Because it gets me the same functionality I would want from a controller that's priced at like 150 or 200 at only 100. It's like if you just want a controller to play a game and you don't care about the bells and whistles and all that, you would go for a cheaper controller. Like a regular like Xbox controller, like a third-party one, like an 8-bit do, or like something like that, and you wouldn't go for like an Elite style controller. This is like a budget-friendlier version of an Elite style controller. So it's like for me, I will utilize the back buttons a lot. Maybe with a patch or like a bit more tinkering, I will utilize the grip input a lot. Stuff like that appeals a lot to me, so I would say it's worth the price for that. If you don't care about those bells and whistles and you're just like, I just want something to hit like buttons and triggers, you don't really need something like this. It's nice to have, but you don't really need it. Personally, I'm very satisfied with this, and this will probably be my main controller going forward. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Infant, as well, and thank you, Bubbles. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great day. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.